It's been about a week since we got news that Sony has cut off support for Destiny 2 and its final update will be on June 9th. Then after this, they're going to put all the resources into Marathon, and that includes moving the Destiny team over to Marathon. But also, there were some reports that layoffs were going to occur. Now, this new article by Paul Tassi gives us more insight into the situation. There began to be discussions and scenarios planned after Edge of Fate in terms of where Destiny 2 could or should go from there, because that expansion underperformed expectations. And that's a normal thing that occurs with the studio. If a DLC does not do well in sales, then they look at the numbers and try to see if it's worth making more or just stop. Those discussions get way more serious when Renegades did even worse and didn't change sales or retention trajectory. So when even the next DLC doesn't do any better, that's when they start discussions of what else they should do with Destiny 2. The scenarios discussed were about what the future of Destiny 2 would look like. If it were sticking with a new 2 expansions, 2 updates model, or something else, the decision to actually kill the game was not made after Edge of Fate or something that far back. It was earlier this year, as previously reported. So they already had plans to shut down any future DLC or updates for Destiny 2. They were just waiting for the right time to announce it to everyone. One idea was scrapping the 2 expansion model and going back to 1 big expansion again, and renaming the game Destiny Infinity. The goal there was a kind of relaunch, as opposed to doing a true Destiny 3 to kickstart momentum. Destiny 3 was considered as ever, but things didn't swing that way. My sources have no belief it is coming at the moment. So they're just saying that, yeah, they did pitch the idea of Destiny 3, but because of financial reasons, Sony said that it cost too much money. That never happened. So instead, they went with Marathon. With all the options on the table, the main problem was that any and all of it cost a ton of money. Talking to multiple industry people, Jason Schreier's recent theorizing that building a Destiny 3 from scratch could cost around $500 million before marketing and post-launch support is not unreasonable in the current state of the industry. As for Marathon, if the game made $1 billion, would Destiny 2 have a chance to continue? Sure, maybe. But no one was sitting there on launch day deciding if its performance would kill Destiny 2 or not. Unfortunately, neither the petition nor the planned login surge on the 9th has any chance of reversing the recent decision or greenlighting Destiny 3, as well intentioned as they may be. Yeah, somebody started a petition to ask for Sony to make Destiny 3, and right now there's almost 300,000 signatures, but really that's not enough for Sony to say, yeah, we'll do it. I mean, this number has to be in the millions, really, to even consider it. And the other thing is that on June 9th, they're expected to be a big surge of players on Destiny 2 for its final update, but even then, they're saying that I don't think those numbers are going to be high enough to even consider making Destiny 3. From here, Bungie needs to land a pitched game and get something in the works. There's no info on exact metrics Marathon needs to hit to become a win. All eyes are on Season 2 and the free week. But the console audience has proven they really do not care for this thing at all, so the needle is not expected to be moved there. At this point, Bungie needs a new game that's a big hit because Marathon is not enough. There's not enough people playing Marathon right now, and since 70% of the sales were on PC, that means the console numbers are even lower, and so is the player base. Edge of Fate was when things went down, and Renegades is when it got worse. They did talk about a relaunch or a sequel, but everything was too expensive. When they focused on Marathon, a lot of resources were put into that game, which is why there was little focus on Destiny 2. It just seems like anything made for Destiny 2 at this point was a high risk, considering the player base was going down anyways. So instead, they took a big gamble on Marathon, but that's not doing so well. But for now, it seems like Destiny 3 is not going to happen, maybe not for a long time, unless Sony takes a big gamble again. That's it for this video. Put your comments below, and I'll see you later.